Hello viewers and welcome to the eSeniors GT3 Championship Constructors race today, taking place at the German track of the Nurburgring. I've been watching some pre-qualifying and there's some mighty fast people out there. I think qualification is going to be in the 155s, which anybody watching and knows the track will appreciate. That's a really good time. So as I said, the Nurburgring, part of the Nordschleife. It's a shame we don't have that track to race, but very technical track, got a lot of different cambers in it and some very difficult sections in there. So I'm going to go across now to qualification, and we'll have a quick look at the table. So as you can see from the table there, PWS Esports are leading it and are quite dominant. They've been having consistently high finishes, both drivers. In second place we've got Team GB in the Lexus, and then behind them we've got Team Burning Moose in the McLaren, and then in the final ones of the 200s are HDD Racing. Now there's been a couple of shifts in drivers due to one reason or other. So Jeremy's now teamed up with Neil Bywater. I think one of the PWS Esports guys, or sorry, one of the Team GB guys has been switched. And I'm still waiting for two drivers to turn up to the grid. As it stands, we are two drivers short. Not so much a team short, but two drivers from two different teams. So we're either waiting for Mr. Ars or we're waiting for Mr. Savage for the French team, which is the team SRCC. And for what was Team Babalas, where I've represented them for a couple of weeks, we're waiting for Mr. Whitton to join. Now, Mr. Whitton does have a difficulty with electricity based on where he lives, and sometimes going to jump on once qualifying started. So I am hoping he's going to turn up. I haven't been asked to drive for them this week, so consequently, I can stream the race. Just a quick couple of hellos to those who've joined the stream very quickly. Hi, Mr. Oda. Hi, Don. Don says, someone said the eSeniors were racing, so I dropped everything and came running. Wow, running at your age, mate. I'd take my hat off to you. I would if I wore one. Hi, Steve. Welcome to the stream. Hi, Terry. Hi, Melvin. Right, so what we'll do is we're going to stick with who it is at the moment, Mark Christopher. I'll put the fastest lap screens up. Mark Christopher is part of the PWS and is currently leading the Group 2 championship. He's been putting in 157s, so I'm expecting a low 157 out of him in relation to qualification. He may get into the 156s, and that'll put him probably 4th, 5th on the starting grid, based on who's around him. As I said, I've been highlighting and looking at who's doing what. I think the person who's going to lead and get pole is Mr. Van Brabant. He's a good half-second clear of everybody, and I think we're going to see him in the 155 5s. And then he's going to be closely followed by, I think it's Mr. Eklund, who's going to be behind them. I've not seen Mr. Bourne out on track yet, so Mr. Bourne I would expect to be up there as well. I think the front three are going to be within half a second of each other. I then think we're going to have a cluster of 3 or 4 drivers behind that. Mr. Christopher's going to be one of them. Mr. Arabas is going to be another one. And I think Mr. Hjort is going to stick there. So I think we're going to end up with 2 banks of 3 drivers here to make up the top 6. Now, I could be completely wrong. And we can see there, Mr. Christopher's just put in a 156.4. So what do I know? That's a fantastic time, that. And that's going to put him probably 4th on the grid, I reckon. Because I can't see anybody else coming close to that. Could be wrong. But I reckon we're going to see Mr. Christopher in 4th. And as we can see there, Mr. Van Brabant has just done a 155.9. So straight out the bat, we can see Carlo is looking quick. Steve's mentioning John Saunders is doing 155s. Yeah, he might have been just before when I was watching the pre-qualifying. He was in the low 156s. So I think in relation to that, and there you go, he's in the low 156s now. As we can see, John Saunders with a 156.2. And there's definitely time to gain there. So yeah, he may well get into the 155s. But I do feel Carlo's going to be into the 155.5s. And we'll probably see John Saunders, Chris Bourne, and as I said, Lars also in the 155s. Either that or the very, very low 156s. We're talking 56 flat. I still think it's going to be... I think David Gerrard will do well as well, actually, once he gets himself up and running. But I think that's probably going to be what I would class as the top 6. And as you can see there, Chris Bourne's now put a 156 for him. Hi, Robert. Welcome to the stream. And yeah, I think, as I said, David Gerrard, I think, will move up a little bit. I'm just looking down the grid. I saw Krista before do a really good lap. I've mentioned Lars. And as I said, if Mr. Whitton jumps on board, I think we'll see Mr. Whitton up there as well, if he does make it. Hi, Nikos. Welcome to the stream, my friend. So I'm going to jump forward. And I'm going to go on board with Carlo. Carlo's best is a 155.9. He's currently 4/10 up. And he's coming towards the end of the lap. So this is going to put him into the 155.5s. Could be in the 155.4s, actually. Just keep watching this space. This is more likely to be a 155.5. There you go, 155.53. I'm going to jump into another car, Mr. Bourne. So Mr. Bourne's best time is a 156.4. And he's currently 8/10 up, which means he's looking at a 156.6. Sorry, a 155.6. And he's currently now looking at a 155.5. So he's now starting to threaten Carlo at this point. He needs to gain a bit of time. He's just kept within track limits there. And he's now on for a 155.4. He's 1 second clear of his previous time. So Robert says he's in F1 car. I think Chris Bourne's in an even quicker one. So can Chris make a bit of pace into this little chicane here? Get the chicane right, you'll fly through it. Get it wrong and you'll bounce all over the place. Now he's lost a bit there. He's gained it back again there into that corner. So is he going to get the power down early? He is. I think this is going to be a pole of a 155.4. A 155.3. Wow. So he managed to get a bit more on the straight. That's exceptional. So I'm going to switch down to Krista. Krista's best lap's a 157.9 at the moment. He's 8/10 up. So I saw Krista before into the 156.4s, I think it was. So I am expecting Krista to end up higher than he certainly is at the moment, which is 13th. Both Carlo and Chris are now in the pits. They're probably having a breather after that. But 2 fantastic times. This is setting Sunday up very well to start with, isn't it? And as we see there, Lars and David Gerrard are all 156.1s. John Saunders is a 156.2. So I think that's going to be the makeup of what will be the top 5. Unless there's a hidden surprise in there or someone I've not really kept an eye on. Krista's now 1.1 second up, so that's putting him into the 156.8s. And he's going to jump up into 8th place. One with a 156.7 actually. So Krista's got a good lap time in there now. It now means he can build. So as the track starts to rubber, you can gain a 10th here and a 10th there. So yes, again, I'm going to switch to Mr. Saunders. Mr. Saunders is best with a 156.2 and he's currently 3/10 up. And he's 4/10 up, but he's lost a little bit, so he's going to go into the 155s here. There you go. We've now got 4 drivers in the 155s, and I honestly believe Lars will do it. But Lars has made a mistake. He was 4/10 up on the previous lap, but made a mistake. That would have put him into the 155.7s and into 3rd place. So there's still a lot to play for with the 10 minutes of qualifying left we've got. So there's a lot going on. And you can see, I did say Tony Whitton would join, and Tony Whitton has joined. Now he's obviously got his power back on and can now start taking part in qualification. We're on board with David Gerrard. David Gerrard was actually up then, so I don't know whether he was just put off a little bit by the car in front and it's caused him to lose, and there you can see he's decided to pull that over. I'm going to jump on board with Mr. Holmes. Craig Holmes. His best is a 156.5. He's currently, well, he was 4/10 up, but he's just gone wide and spoiled his lap. So I'm going to go forward with Mark Christopher, whose best is a 156.4, and he's 3/10 up here for a 156.1. A 156 flats for Mark Christopher. So we know he's getting qualification and pole on Saturday, don't we? I think that's pretty much clear cut in relation to that one. Back up with Lars. So Lars' best was a 156.1. He's currently 3/10 up. I did mention he could get into the 155.7s. He's looking at the moment at a 155.8. Oh, he's fantastic, that corner. Wow. Oh, he gained so much time but then lost it, and he's just starting to get the power back on now. So he's 4/10 up, which is a 155.7 as it stands. So Neil, I thought Neil was on track. Bloody stalls. Why, is someone shopping, selling something? Boom. Yeah, Lars is still up. 4/10 up at the moment. So he's going for a 156.7. This will put him 3rd on the grid. He's going faster. If he takes another second, he's not going to be 3rd. Another bit of time, sorry, another 10th. He's not going to be 3rd. Oh, he's lost a bit coming into there. He's kept the power on. Good corner there. Oh, he's gained. He's lost. He's dropped out a little bit there. He's lost all his time. What a shame. He's now going for the 156 flats if he's lucky. There you go, 156.0. And we can see there Mark Christopher and Lars Eklund have got dead heat time of 156.079. This seems quite a consistent thing these days in the ACC. Number of drivers who appear to be getting consistent lap times with other drivers. We're seeing it more and more and more. I've not yet seen 3 of the same, but certainly seen 2. And I've been one of them drivers on a couple of occasions, actually. But Neil Bywater has been having stalls for some reason. He's never had it before. He's going out again with his fingers crossed. So I think it sounds like he's got a bit of a ropey engine. So I'm jumping back to Mr. Tennant. So Frank's best time is the 157.8, and he's currently 5/10 up. He's lost a bit of time there. Oh, he's gained a load there. He must have took that corner poorly on his current fast lap, or his previous fast lap. He's made a bit of time. Let's see how he goes through the rest of the circuit. Yeah, he's 6/10 up as we go. He's lost it again. See one of the cars pulled up on the side. Really tricky section this. It's all about getting the entry point right and having the power down. Get the entry point wrong, you're going to lose so much time. And this corner is all about getting the power down as soon as you get into that corner. And this one, getting the power down again as soon as possible, drifting left ever so slightly. Yeah, he's gained a lot of time there. So he's looking at very low 157s here, is Frank. 157.1 at the moment, by the looks of this, or a 157.2. Not too sure. I think it's a 157.1. But if he carries on, he could be into the 156s. He's looking really good, is Frank. Oh, he's gone. Oh, I thought he was just going to drift too wide then. Yeah, he's going for the 157.1, I think. There you go, 157.189. There's been no other movements. I'm going to switch to Mr. Saunders. Mr. Saunders is a 155.9, and he's 3/10 up as it stands. So this is going to put him on 3rd place on the grid if he can keep this up. And if he can gain any more time, he's going to get 2nd place. Now, Mr. Gerrard, who's just in front of him on the grid, is also going quicker So these two are going to be very close. Oh, that was a cracking corner by Saunders, but he just drifted a little bit coming out and he's lost a lot of time. So he's going to go forward onto third, but I do fear that Mr. Gerrard has had a bit of a mare through that section. Actually, he was 3/10 up. He's now 1/10 up. He's still on for it here to put himself into third, but he's going to struggle now. And as you can see, he's had a bit of a wayward part through that corner, and he's lost all his time. With 5 minutes to go. And yeah, Stephen Buckley with a 1:56.6. Wow, absolutely fantastic time. Amazing time. So all drivers up to P11 have all managed a 1:56 or less. So that's quite astounding, and I think that goes to show this weekend. I think some of the Group 2 drivers, me included, are going to have to get our act sorted out a little bit, because them times are scarily quick. The thing is with this as well, I'm going to go back to John Saunders. He's 3/10 up again, and this is going to put him into second place as this stands, if he can keep it going. Quite a funny track this, because you can have I wouldn't say your qualifying setup's suitable for racing because of the tyres. The idea of qualifying is short bursts. If you use your qualifying setup for racing, you'll kill your tyres. And saving your front left on this track is so key. I was racing closely with Terry on Monday, I think it was. And it's funny that both our tyres appeared to go off for a part of the race. And as they cooled down, they come back to us again. But, you know, you could lose so much time. That's a good corner. He's 4/10 up here. He could get pole. No, he's not going to. I don't think he's going to get pole. He's lost a bit of time, but I think he's going to get. There you go. He's got second with a 1:55.4. So 1/10 equally splitting. So what? Sorry, 1/100. Yeah, 1/10 equally splitting the first three drivers in the 1:55s. And anybody else on a fast lap? Craig Holmes is on a 1:56.5, and he's currently 3/10 up as he's coming over the line. This is going to put him no further forward because the gap between him and Lars is too great, but it has given him a 1:56.2. 3 minutes and counting. Yeah, Melvin, it's a very good point. There's hot lapping and there's racing. You're hot lapping, you don't care about your tyres. Obviously racing, it's all about tyre preservation. And then we can see Chris Bourne's got even faster with a 1:55.344. He's took a hundredth off his time there. Well, not quite. He's took 6,000ths of a second off his time. A gain's a gain. Don't matter how small it is, but it's an absolute gain. No one else is going fast. Sven Vibush is 3/10 up at the moment. Is he going to get over the finish line? He's going to be in a one. Oh, he's going to. I thought he was going to make the 1:57s, but he's not. Yeah, Steve Howell's saying my best was a 57. I was doing some practice early on, and I found a setup that's starting to work for me, and I managed to get into. I did a consistent 1:56.7, but my best was a 1:56.4. So I've just got to work on that, and then that'll give me a half decent run at it, and then I can use that setup as a basis for me my race setup. Obviously, I'm not going to use the same setup as that, but a couple more join the stream. Hi, Johan, welcome. Hi, Derek, and hi, Terry Howard. We've got the two Terrys in there, and Nikos is on the high 58s. And there, John Saunders has just gone fastest and claimed pole with a 1:55.2. Alien alert, alien alert. That's 5 drivers in the 1:55s. I'm already excited for Sunday. Wow. It's going to be extreme Sunday. Right, I'm going to stick on board with Mr. Saunders because he seems to be in that groove, shall we say. Well, he was. He was looking quicker and quicker and quicker. Right, I'm just going to take a step back to Mr. Lingham. So his best is a 1:58.0 and he's currently 3/10 up. I know the lap's very, very early, but this corner is a killer for time. Get it wrong, you'll lose so much time. And it can make or break you the way you come out this corner and the ability to get the power down within track limits. He's done that well, Kenneth. He's still 3/10 up. If he's got a good drive, I'd expect him to gain another 10th into this section here. Yeah, he's took that really well, keeping it left, braking to the right. Power down on the kink and off you go. Yeah, he's a bit late with the power down there. He's still a tenth up. Well, he was. Yeah, I think if he'd got the power down earlier, he's actually lost time now. He did appear to be a little bit late with the power there. Drifted it into this corner. Yeah, he's gaining a lot of time here. Power down early. He's 2/10 up. Just ride the curb a little bit on the left, ease, and then power down again. Yeah, 2/10. And then brake just to the markers on the right, and then left, cut the corner, get the power down, and he's 4/10 up as it stands. But again, he's losing it, coming out as if he's not getting the power down quick enough. Power down, yeah, 4/10. And he's lost it again, so he's making time and losing it. In fact, he's down to 2/10 now. Now he's down to 1/10. He's lost a lot of time on this little straight. Braking points between the 100 and the 50 towards the 50. Put the corner, but not too much, so you don't hit the little curb and bounce. Power down, brake down into second, or depending on the car you're driving, possibly first to get the power out. Yeah, he's lost all his time there. And jump towards the back. Mr. Whitton, who's just joined, he's having a bit of a... He's going to have a charge through the field, shall we say. So let's look what else is in the chat. Robert's using the aggressive setup. Gave me a setup. Undrivable to a human. And yeah, Robert's saying you need alien blood for it to work. Yeah, I've tried some of them quick setups and God, the cars are so loose. It's very, very difficult to race them, to be honest. I like something that feels planted. You can still get speed out of a planted car. It just means you've got a few extra milliseconds to recover it if you make a mistake. Neil Bywater, just switching to. In fact, I'll go back to Tony Whitton. Tony Whitton has made gains here. It's only going to move him up the table, possibly one place in front of Mr. Nolan. Oh no, he's gained a lot here. He's now going to jump up into possibly 2 places, 3 places. Yeah, he's gone to 17th. Other person on a mission here who wants to move up a couple of places at least is Neil Bywater. He's 2/10 up. Very smooth through there. Getting the car to turn in. He's just kept it within track limits. 2/10 up. This is going to put him 1 place further forward. If he gains another 10th, he'll go up. Now he's lost his time coming out the straight there. But I don't think he's going to gain. So that is the final racing within qualifying. Back shortly. Okay, let's do a bit of a grid walk, if you want to call it that. What we've got is, as you can see, the Puro Lexus is at the front, John Saunders in pole, followed by Chris Bourne. We've then got Carlo in the Lamborghini, and we've got first of the PWS Aston Martins as driven by Mr. David Gerrard. We've then got one of the Bentleys by Craig Holmes, and the other PWS car being driven by Mr. Mark Christopher. Then got the first of the McLarens driven by Lars Eklund, and then one of the Team USA Aston Martins of Krista Hiort. Next one, we've got the other Lamborghini driven by Stefan Buckley, and then we've got the first of the Ferraris driven by Mark Stevens. We've then got one of the Astons of the new drivers, Neil Bywater, partnering Jeremy, and one of the red Bentleys driven by Kai. The other McLaren, Andreas Pettersson and Frank Tennant in the Fanatec Bentley. We've then got Jeremy Arabas in the other Canadian Aston Martin, and we've got Kenneth Lingham in the other Swedish Bentley. Not Swedish, Danish Bentley, should I say? My apologies. Tony Whitton in the other orange styled Ferrari, and we've got Sven Bywater in the green McLaren. We've then got Eric Langlois in the SRCC Ferrari, and then Harrison Nolan in the Team USA Aston Martin, and further at the back we've then got Uwe Weibusch in the other green McLaren. So that's basically the drill on who's where in relation to the grids. I'm just going to put the if I can get out of this, sorry, not letting me get out of where I am. I can do it this way instead. And what I'm going to do is go to the helicam at the front, and we'll see how the start goes. So off we go. Any second now, we'll start rolling. Ready for this 50-minute race. And we'll see who the winners are, losers are in the Constructors. So one of the Lexuses there is really slow off the mark. And in fact, it's causing a bit of a barrage of the cars queuing up behind. I would expect them to all get in position now. As you can see, they're all queuing up. Hi Billy, welcome to the stream. Right, any second now. I think it's going to be off we go. Coming up to it. Lights out. And away we go. So, initial gains. Looks like Lars on the inside. For Mark Christopher. But it looks like everyone's going to maintain their current position. We've already seen Mr. Tennant decide he wants to take the bollards out. Which, if that is the 100 braking marker, we're going to see some excitement as people come into that corner for the first time. But the good news is, all drivers appear to have made it. So again, let's go to the front. Oh no, there has been contact. There's contact between Mr. Christopher and Mr. Holmes. So that's the Bentley and the Aston you can see there. It does appear like it was a love tap as opposed to two cars getting completely obliterated. Kenneth Lingham has managed to pass Andreas further back, so he's obviously had a good run out of there as we settle into the first lap. And you can see now both the Danish Bentleys are now together in tandem as they have been on previous races. So there's a lot going on. Sven, it looks like he's lost a couple of places. He's just gaining back past Harrison Nolan there. He's obviously had a bit of a bad drive and managed to recover a little bit. Further back, further up into the field, and there's a bit of action going on here where we've got Mr. Mark Stevens in front of them all. And I think this is going to become a little bit of a train. You can pass on this track, but it's not easy. You've got to work out where you're going to pass in advance and almost set yourself up. Otherwise, you're just going to end up following the train around, you know, at lap after lap after lap. There is places, if you get a good drive out of the start and finish straight, you can probably take them on the inside as it comes to the end of the straight. But it's difficult because it's just not long enough to do that. It's all about getting that drive out. So you can see there, Stevens is just pulling away a little bit, half a second. Andreas is putting pressure on Mr. Lingham. So again, I'm keeping an eye on the gaps here. Mr. Christopher has took Mr. Eklund, and there's been an incident. So I'm not too sure whether that was... Oh, dear, dear, dear. And Mr. Christopher's took Stevens out, took Kai Schaefer out. And there's cars everywhere. Oh, dear. And we're still on lap 1. Interesting. The 10-place penalties still apply. I'm going to have to sort the bones out of that one. Now, there's a possibility Mr. Stevens' car's damaged, and you can see his bonnet's up, and he's just gone past the pits. I think we're going to see him escape to the pits here. And there you go. He's going to pay the ultimate price there. I don't want to go back to the replay on that because it looks like he's gone the outside and Eklund's gone on the inside perhaps, and they've come together. They've not given each other space. Very early on in the race, you know, we've said you can't win it on the first lap, but you can lose it. And that's a classic example of potentially someone losing it on the first lap. So we can see here now, as a result of that argy-bargy, Mark Stevens is now behind Kai. I think it's Kai, actually. I'm not too sure. No, it's Mr. Lingham. Kai got away out of that quite free, I think. He seemed to avoid... Oh, no. I'm mistaken. It was Kenneth who avoided all the trouble. because Kai's right down at the back now. He's in last place. Oh, and we've had one of the Vybush cars going off. In fact, yeah, there it is. Uwe's gone off there. And I'm just going to stick with Mr. Arabas, because Arabas is putting pressure on what appears to be Harrison Nolan, who's gone wide. That means Jeremy's going to get a very good run now. Just not enough to go up the inside. And we can see there one of the Vybushes is trying to join the party, shall we say. Yeah, Harrison needs to get himself relaxed. Take the deep breaths and go again, because Jeremy will put him under tremendous pressure. Forward. And we can see there now John Saunders with a 156.4. He's currently leading, as you can see there. And you can see there we've got, it looks like Andreas is still going for it. And I think this is where the action's going to be for this race at the moment. I'm just looking at where. So Kai is catching Tony up. Mark Christopher's still in the pit, so I don't know whether he's decided to call it a day or his damage was bad. Now looking at his car, he had an open bonnet. You can see the side panel. Oh, he's going for the dive up the inside, is Mr. Stevens. He's made it stick. Very clean. And Kenneth respected the space there. That's also opened the door potentially now for Andreas. And we can see Jeremy behind did actually pass Harrison, but Harrison had the inside line. But this isn't done yet. I think again, Mr. Whitton's joining the party in the orange Ferrari there. And you can see Kai's caught up as well after dropping down towards the back. There's quite a lot of action going on here. The Whitton's managed to take, Vybush? Sven. He's managed to pass Sven. And Sven, oh, it looks like Sven went into the back of him then. And decided to take the off-road route, shall we say, to slow down. Let's just jump forward to Mr. Buckley, where the action's at. So Mr. Buckley is putting pressure on Neil Bywater, Jeremy's co-driver, if you want to call him that. And you can see behind there, Lars, who was involved in that incident with Mr. Christopher, who is now back out of the pits, because obviously he'll get points if he finishes. He's trying to catch up. Now, wow, Stefan there with his braking was very late, but very, very programmed, if you like, the way he slowed that car down perfectly. Now, Mark Stevens has gone off. I'm not too sure where he's hit the barrier there, but he has. He's gone to the pits too. So it's all kicking off this. All cars are going everywhere. And look at that, Stefan's got a great run, but is he going to lose a place there to Lars? No, he's managed to take the chicane really well. But Bywater's gone. Oh, Bywater went very deep. And Mr. Bourne's now gone fastest with a 156. Now, I think that Lambo is going to pass here. I'm not too sure about Lars in the McLaren, unless he's running low wing. But that Lambo is going to take some beating. And Stefan is defending wonderfully. Look at that. At the braking point, right, Stefan? Don't go too deep. Track limits warning. That'll be a track limits warning for both Stefan and for Bywater. If you go deep there, you will get a strike. He's not giving up, is Stefan. Look at this driving. Absolutely fantastic. He's not giving it up, is he? He's really not giving it up. Hell for leather there, Stefan. Go, Stefan, go. And he's keeping Mr. Bywater at bay as well. So the gap at the front now is 1.3 seconds between Saunders and Chris Bourne, and 1.8 seconds between Van Brabant and Bourne. So they're starting to spread out a little bit at the front. So we've got Mark Stevens in the pit. Mark Christopher's coming out of the pit. We will need to review that incident. Obviously, it's a first lap incident, and it was race ruining. And it was race ruining for either Mr. Christopher or for other drivers. So that's the way we need to look at it. Brilliant through there, Stefan. Absolutely brilliant. He nailed that. And he's actually now pulled a gap out from Neil. So Stefan's starting to run away. Very wide there. Very wide. That's track limits, but that will not be a warning. I don't think you get a warning there. There's only certain corners you get a warning in. So let's jump back to towards the back. We've got three cars of Jeremy. We've got Tony Whitton and Kai in the Danish liveried Bentley at the back. And we've also got another battle going on further forward, which I'll switch to in a minute, just to see. Okay, so I'm going to switch forward because it's getting very close here as well. So this is the other Kenneth Danish liveried Bentley. being pressured by Andreas in the Swedish liveried McLaren. Jamie's getting very close. Jeremy's now getting very close to Harrison. And are we going to see Jeremy go up the inside here in the braking zone? No, he's not. Whoa! And Kai's had an absolute nightmare there. What was Kai doing? Sorry, I just... what was all that? I really don't understand what happened there. Kai just seemed to completely miss his braking point. In fact, the replay's struggling. It can't work it out either. So we've got him coming down the straight. That really, really did throw the game, that. You can see the cars in front of him. I'm just going to see if I can see where his lights come on. Oh, he's very late. Oh, dear, dear. So I think that when that marker board was moved, the 100-metre marker board, Kai's missed it. And he's broke at the 50-metre marker board. And consequently, it means he's obliterated, I think, was Andreas's car. And I'm surprised Andreas hasn't gone to the pits with that. So I'm just trying to see where Andreas is. So Andreas now is running, but he's took a hell of a side impact on that car. But he's actually still running. He looks like he's running okay. But we'll wait and see. Yeah, Robert, I think Frank took the 100-metre board out early on, and that was missing. So there's a bit of a lesson there. Don't use the 100-metre board. There's a marker, but I'll let you work it out. I don't use the 100-metre board. I use the marker in case the meter board disappears, because I think it disappeared yesterday as well. And the first few drivers, me included, shot past it. So I thought, right, I need to pick a different braking marker, and that's exactly what I did. Okay, so... yeah, the gaps have all broken up a little bit now. It looks like a few incidents have caused a bit of a problem on track, and the gaps have become significant. So, just going to jump forward a little bit with John Saunders. And you can see these two guys. Are they going to race each other? Or are they quite happy with the 1-2? Because it actually doesn't mean anything. Finishing the race in first or second if you're the same team. It's maximum points. Is there any kudos in saying, I beat you as my teammate? Or is it all about, let's maximise the number of points? Because this is worth a lot of points, you know, in relation to the championship. Right, so I'm just going to jump between these two because there's a bit of a... Oh, yeah, I was going to say there's Tony and Harrison were fighting a little bit and there was contact. Oh, and Vybush has made contact with Nolan. And Jeremy still sat behind. I'm just going to go back a couple of cars. Harrison's going to go up the inside. Vybush is letting him go. I think Jeremy's now going to try and pass Mr. Vybush. There's a couple of incidents there. It looks like there's an incident with Nolan and Whitton. You can see Whitton's off now, although he took that corner very, very deep. Wybush just took the corner brilliantly there. He's going to create a cracking drive out of there. No, he's not. But Jeremy is. Jeremy's deciding he wants to go on the beach. But he's not got the run as a result of that. They've all got through that section really well. Oh, let me go back to the chat. All them incidents and the chat. I'm sure in the chat you've got a few comments about what's going on there. Let's have a look. Let's see what people said. Can you show who's gained lost positions? I can do indeed. I shall do that instead of the nation. So position delta. There you go. So Frank is absolutely flying, as is Mr. Langlois. Mark Stevens and Mark Christopher are the two big losers. Harrison's made 6 places up, so you know it's still all to play for. It's very early into the race. We've got 37 minutes left to go, and the first 4 cars, as you can see, haven't changed places at all. So Mr. Vybush here is putting a lot of pressure on Mr. Nolan for what will be 14th place, but Jeremy's still thinking about it. Again, going very close with the braking points. Will he get the drive on the outside? This is a very difficult corner to get right because you can go too deep and then you've got to put your anchors on to get the car to turn left. So there's a bit of a knack there. Vybush has gone too far. He's put the power down too early. Oh, he's managed to avoid the wall. Wow. I think he clipped it, but not to the point where it'll have damaged his car, like the front left-hand side. His car didn't move too much there. So that's taken Mr. Vybush out of the equation. And I'm just going to go to the front because, as you can see now, these two are racing. I didn't think they would, but the racing. And you know what Chris Bourne's like? Mine, mine, mine. Either that or he's trying to bump draft him. And as we know in ACC, bump drafting's very, very risky because you could bump draft someone straight and the game will go, oh, you've hit me wing, and I'm off. So very, very dangerous. He obviously got a good toe there, to be fair, on that little part of the track and that section. Yeah, Melvin, the driving standards are dropping. I think Melvin, it's almost like people are getting tired. And this is early on into the race, but you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, potentially you could end up racing if you were a Group 3 racer. And you know, I've took the decision not to race 2 days on the run because I can feel it in either my hands or my legs. So I'm quite happy to do the stream on certain nights. But I think it's probably getting a bit too much, and you start tightening up. You know, I feel it in my legs actually, my accelerator and my brake pedals, because you're using them very, very vigorously, more than you would on a normal road car. And my right hand gets quite stiff as a result of gripping the steering wheel and the force feedback. So I think it's just starting to catch up with people indirectly. Has Neil passed Stefan? He has, and so's Kenneth. In fact, it shows Kenneth just past Stefan, so Stefan's had a bit of a to-do there. He's gone very, very slow. And there you go. There's the change we thought may happen. Mr. Bourne has made a pass on John Saunders. So the Lexus is still front, but all they've done is change position, so they're still going to achieve maximum score. So I think there, if I was to do the replay, we'll see John Saunders let him go, because there's nothing to gain. As I said, if you win, you win. Great, but it's a team effort, this one. So it's all about getting 2 cars on the finish line. Jeremy has managed to pass Harrison. So I think we're going to see Jeremy now try and hunt Tony Whitton down. Tony Whitton is 3 seconds in front. I'm not too sure whether Jeremy's using my latest setup, but I haven't done a race car in the setup yet, so we might be using this one from last night. We'll have to wait and see. It is Ollie, it's old age. Yeah, Steve Howells found it hard doing the Cup and Group 2. Yeah, I think I do the GT4 sometimes, but you know, I don't normally do the warm-up races. It's to be fair, I've done them a couple of times, and they've turned out, they seem to be getting worse for incidents. You know, and the idea of the warm-up races is to think about your car and get your car settings. But some people think because it's a non-championship race, they can use it and drive it in a completely different way. And it just feels like there's drivers getting took out unnecessarily because people are thinking, well, it doesn't really matter. Lars has took Krista there. And Andreas has took Harrison. He's managed to get him under braking through the chicane at some point. I think Harrison's probably drifted left wide onto the grass. Tony Whitton is now catching up Eric Langlois. I think we'll see Tony Whitton catch and pass. I'll tell you what, Eric's having some cracking races recently. Andreas is putting a lot of pressure. Frank Tennett's gone off. He's running slow. He's lost 2 places there. And I'm going to go back to Andreas, because Andreas is now putting pressure on Jeremy. So Jeremy's now catching Tony Whitton in the orange Ferrari. And we've now got Andreas, who got whacked early on from Kai. And his car's not damaged too much because he's putting amazing pressure on Jeremy here. And Jeremy, who's driving a car that's got no issues. So yeah, so back to Mondays. I'll probably skip Mondays from now. Oh, and there goes Eric. Commentator's curse. Why don't I keep my mouth shut, eh? Just praising the guy, and off he goes. Not guilty, Your Honour. But yeah, what a shame. He was doing well, Eric, as well. He's had a couple of good results recently, a couple of good races. So John Saunders is now nearly 2 seconds behind Chris Bourne. Chris Bourne's on another... I think he's on another track, Chris Bourne. I think he's found an escape road somewhere that takes him to half the track and cuts half of it out. We've then got John Saunders, as you can see, just putting the 2 cars in order. Carlo, who's in the Lamborghini, the first Lamborghini, still there, but he's a couple of seconds behind. David Gerrard is putting pressure on Carlo, though. So I'm not too sure whether this is going to become a battle to watch shortly. Then got a bit of a gap to Craig Holmes, a 5-6 second gap. And then I'm just going to switch back to Andreas. Andreas looked like he was going to pass Jeremy then. But no, they've both made a good run through there. So Lars is a good gap behind Craig. And then, as you can see there, the USA, Aston. We've then got Krista. And then the first of the Bentleys, the Fanatec Bentley, we've got Frank Tennant, who was in front of these two guys initially. We've then got Neil Bywater, Jeremy's teammate. So he's getting maximum points for Jeremy. Stefan has managed to pass Kenneth. Kenneth's moving, so Stefan's moving forward again now as a result of that. I think Kenneth actually made a bit of a mistake because it was showing him as going slow. Tony Whitton is then next in the first of the orange Ferraris. Managed to avoid the melee of cars early on. Then we've got Jeremy in the second orange Aston, teaming up with Neil Bywater. And you can see there Andreas has got a good run. That's not really a passing point. We might get a good run coming down. Obviously, we've got Andreas, who got that wallop early on, but is now doing really, really well. So it hasn't damaged his car, which is a good point there. Then we've got Harrison, who I think got caught up in that melee at the beginning. But again, he does appear to be running okay. Then we've got the first, in fact, Tony Whitton. I think Tony Whitton's disconnected. Yep, Tony Whitton's connection's gone. We've lost Tony Whitton. So everyone shuffles up. So Tony will not be able to get back on the server, unfortunately. He's either lost power or his internet's gone down. And based on where he lives, there's a probability it could be power. So he does have backup power, but it's not designed to run his computer because it'll probably kill it. So there's the first of the second of the Vibush brothers. We've then got Kai, who must have had a bit of a senior moment before with his braking. Mark Stevens, who's 1 lap down, and Mark Christopher, who's 1 lap down. So they're actually going to gain a position now as a result of Mr. Whitton going off. So let's go back to Pettersson. Pettersson's looking to get the inside line here by trying to take the corner deep and get the power down quickly. Not sure if he's going to get the run on that Aston or not, but he's got a good drive, but he's just not close enough. This is what I mean. The straight runs out. You just need that extra couple of car lengths. Yeah, nice corner there from Jeremy. Let's go back to the chat. Yeah, Robert, that's what I'm saying. Pettersson got hit by Kai. I'm surprised his car isn't like a 90-degree angle. He got hit that hard. Certainly from a driver's perspective, I'm sure he'd be sharing the door with the driver's seat with the door because he got a hell of a whack. But obviously he survived that and he's running well. I'm sure if that was an incident on a real track, there'd be helicopters and stuff flying in now, peeling drivers out of cockpits. Because that was pretty spectacular. And you don't often see cars take off in a set of Corsa Competizione, but Kai's took off. Absolutely took off. All 4 wheels off the ground, and that's when it walloped Andreas's car. So Harrison has lost out to Sven. Harrison made a mistake, and as you can see, he's gone wide again. Chris Bourne's going faster and faster up front. I think we're going to see another fastest lap from Chris Bourne in a minute. Let's go back to Andreas, where the action is, or from the rear of Jeremy's car, just so we can see what's going on. Oh, he's got a great run there. It's the inside you want as well. The inside line there. Outside you won't pass, but the inside, you can just shove your nose in and claim the corner. Yeah, it takes kahunas, shall we say, but you can do it. Yeah, this battle's just keeping going into it. It's quite, as I said, it's a difficult track to pass on if you're quite a matched driver. So Uwe's now managed to pass Eric. So Eric looks like he's losing quite a lot of time. I think he's, in fact, there he is. He's lost a lot of time, Eric. I think he's made a mistake and gone wide. In fact, it's now showing Eric's past Uwe. So I don't know what's happening with the timing screen. The timing screen's having a bit of a hissy fit as well. Oh, that'll be a track limits warning there. Don't want to be doing that too many times. You'll be getting a drive-through. You can see there, that I think is Mr. Stevens unlapping himself. And Uwe's gone off track. Now just jump forward to Kenneth. Kenneth's putting pressure on Stefan again. So Stefan did manage to pass Kenneth, but Kenneth just seems to have got his thought process back again about the best way to attack the Lamborghini. 26 minutes to go. And we're currently with the HDD Racing of Kenneth Lingham, who's partnering with Kai. Unfortunately, Kai's going to lose quite a number of points here. And not only that, he's also going to receive some penalty points as well, as a result of his flying through the air. Got to work out who's going to get the other penalties as well for the start incident on lap 1 in the final corner, because that become an absolute melee. And what it'll probably be is the driver who caused that will be the one who receives the place penalty. The aftermath of the other crashes is very difficult to blame if the first one caused it. So that's how we'll look at the penalties for that one. Andreas is still putting pressure on Jeremy, but looks like he can't find a way past. He's just sitting within half a second of Jeremy, looks like, for the entire race. David Gerrard staying within a second of Carlo. Not much going on in relation to them. We'll just ride on the rear of Carlo's. I think this is where Gerrard goes faster and Carlo goes faster. Carlo, I think, knows he's not going to catch John Saunders unless there's a mistake. I'm just going to jump back to Lingham. Sorry, Kenneth Lingham. He was putting pressure on Stefan there. I think Kenneth's going to pass Stefan. He got very, very close there. So Terry asked a good question there. If you're last, how do you apply a 10-place penalty? So the way it works, Terry, is if you're last or outside the top, within the last top 10, we apply what's called a table penalty. So your position in the table gets applied an additional disadvantage point. So if they're fifth from the back and they're going to obviously lose 5 places, what you'll get is a 5-place table penalty. So they'll lose 5 points from where they were previously. That could be the difference between winning a championship or losing a championship, or second place or third place. For anybody who's been looking at the tables with the 10-place penalties, you'll see some of the drivers are already at the bottom and you'll see a table penalty. Yeah, just because they finished last doesn't mean we can't penalise them. We can. So there is a lot of discouragement there. And Kenneth's gone wide. That's really going to help Stefan out. That's allowed him to pull away now, Stefan, 2 seconds. So let's see how quick he pulls that back. So Andrea looking on the outside of Jeremy. Oh, that was very, very, very close. Is this where he's going to make the pass, do you reckon? He seemed to get a very good run out of that corner, but just not enough. And Jeremy just give him racing room. Just that millimetres worth. Great racing. Great racing. So, Don, penalties are penalties, regardless of whether you withdraw them or not. If you've caused someone else's foul up, let's assume... Right, let's look at it this way, Don. You've made 4 start mistakes, and you've lost 40 points. And you decide to scrub them 4 races, right? The problem we've got there is... in effect, what you're doing is you're eliminating your points. Your points. So all we do is you remove your races, and any points gained are removed. So table points will still stand. So ultimately, there's an incentive not to have these incidents, because, as you say, at the end of the season, you scrub your 4 races, you're still going to be, in difficulty. Oh, you agree with that? Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, so the red P is on the table. It gives you a penalty point. Oh, sorry, yes, the P at the top is the column for penalties, and you'll see a number in there. You'll either see a 2, a 4, a 6, a 1, or a 10. Or if they've done an incident and a first lap incident, so first lap incident and then an incident on lap 10, you'll see a 14 in that column. That's what it means. Oh, it's quite quiet on track, believe it or not. Gerard's now losing ground to Carlo. Chris Bourne's 2 seconds clear. This is the only battle on track as it stands. Steve Howells has a 14, so that's a start incident. And then after lap 2, you cause another incident, which was causing a collision. Yes, there is, Robert. Like a chronic hazard driver. So the way we enforce it is if you do the same mistake twice on 2 consistent races, and we've got to be careful how we judge it because there can be mitigating circumstances, but if there's consistently the same driver making the same mistake, we can apply either an additional points penalty depending on the nature of the incident. So it's cutting a corner and gaining an advantage. You're never going to suspend a driver for that. But if they keep doing that, and I think on the 3rd strike, they're suspended from the next race. And the idea is, obviously, is if they're suspended, they can't race and they lose the potential of 50 points in one go. We haven't had that situation yet. I know everyone's going to turn around and say, but I'm sure XYZ's done it. But you'll always find there's different reasons and you can't really put them together. But when I was doing what was interesting was when I started doing the stewarding tables, I had a spreadsheet with all this information on. And Krista's gone off. He's parked it. Interesting. I don't know if he had contact. It's not showing any contact. Let's just have a look at what's happened to Krista there. Because it just showed him as going off, but there doesn't appear to be any relatable contact. I'm just waiting for the game to recover. I think someone said all the liveries causes the replays to, yeah, it's gone into slow mode. Here we go. He's come round. He's gone off there. Oh, he's lost the back end. Oh, dear. Yeah, you can see his bonnet's flapping around. That'll do it. So Krista's definitely lost out a little bit there. Yeah, and that's unfortunate that that car is well and truly done and dusted. He's going to have to get back in the pits. He could get out before Stevens and Christopher, though, if he's lucky enough. And we're back live again. Okay, so let's get back on board with Andreas, who's still close. Yes, Tony, we noticed you'd gone. I saw you falling down the grid. And when I went to click on your name, it wouldn't switch to you. So that tells me you're disconnected. Well, you missed the flying cars. There were literally flying cars. Kai, on the 2nd or 3rd lap, missed his braking point off the straight and basically hit the curb and bounced and hit Andreas in mid-air. So there was literally cars flying. So it was quite interesting and dramatic, shall we say. Ollie's saying Jeremy's getting a bit loose in the rear. Yeah, Ollie, the tyres do go off. Although I'd say 20 minutes is a bit soon. I think Terry T, did ours go off with 10 minutes to go? Or was it 15 minutes to go and then they come back again? They did seem to go off a cliff, though. Yeah, because I messaged Terry afterwards and he said his went off a cliff. But mine were going great and then they just went. Absolutely went. And I had to relearn the feel of the car. It took me a lap or so to do it. And meanwhile, Terry was catching me up. He'd obviously gone through the same because he went back a bit. Yeah, mid-race, interesting. So we both suffered, but at different points. So there's a possibility this is mid-race now. Jeremy's doing the same. I just can't remember where mine were, but I know they fell off the cliff. Right, jumping forward. Mr. Gerard has pulled a stonking lap out and is now gained on Carlo massively here. Yeah, I think mine went and come back for the last 5. But yeah, it's ironic that we both suffered the same thing. It's this corner that kills you. I'm convinced it's this corner in the chicane. Because you can feel your tyres grinding on the circuit there. I'm not too sure whether Gerard's going to... Dave Gerard's going to take him here. But this is certainly an interesting and exciting race. And Andreas is still stuck behind Jeremy. Great racing, to be fair. Krista's still down at the back. He is out. He's out the pits, actually, according to this. And he did get out the pits in front of Stevens and Christopher. We did get out the pits. So all is not lost for Krista there. All right, let's... Again, the full field spread out. If I just show you the track map, you can see the whole field is spread out. And the cars there, 300, is Andreas. So you can see in front of Andreas, Kenneth and Stefan are close, but they're not yet touching. Car 98, which is Sven, is sat behind Andreas and that, who has been there for quite a while. So the track map itself, you know, is showing the field is well and truly spread out. Now Kenneth has caught Stefan up again. So let's just switch to Kenneth. I'll keep an eye on David Gerrard. He's 3/10 at the moment, so he's gaining. In fact, he's gaining very, very well. I'm just keeping an eye on that as well as this. There you go. Has he done it? Has he done it? He's got the drive. Has the Lambo got the drive? Oh, no, he's not. But what does that tell Mr. Gerrard? He knows where he can get him now. If he can get that drive out of the straight, under braking, can he get the right line and get the drive out again? Only needs the inside line on that next corner, and he's got it. He's definitely the quicker driver here. Definitely the quicker driver of the two. Kai's gone off. Kai's oversteered into the corner, I think. I'm not too sure if he's hit the wall. The barrier. He's got his indicator on, so he's telling everybody he was going off track anyway, which is a good gentleman there, putting his indicators on. Kai's had a disaster, hasn't he? In fact, he's had I think his race on Saturday wasn't very good either. He's had a bit of a nightmare as Kai. Yeah, he's up and going again. He's turned his indicator off. He's really struggling, isn't he? I think he's damaged his car. Going to switch back to Andreas. And there we go. Andreas has made the pass. I think that's fair to say. He's going to make it stick unless he gets his braking point wrong. Brilliant pass. Very clean. He's been tying that up for a number of laps. Jeremy's gone wide there. He might actually have had a warning for that. It does not like you doing that corner. As I said before. And I know that because when I was playing it before, doing a bit of testing, I noticed I got a warning. And I was like, okay. So I know where the track limits are on this one. But Kenneth is now catching Stefan. Oh, that's very close. Very, very close indeed. And David Gerrard. I wish I could do split screen because they're at it as well. And this is the corner where Gerrard made progress before on the Lambo. But I think the Lambo's just too far ahead there. It's going to be close at the end of the straight. But I just feel Lamborghini's just too far ahead. And this straight isn't long enough. And as you can see there, he's not even sitting in his toe anyway. Both got the braking point spot on. Yeah, different lines coming out of there. The Lambo's obviously wider. That has given Gerrard the advantage now. But I don't think we'll see a pass coming up at this section unless there's a mistake. Kenna's still putting pressure on. Oh, and the move's been made. What do I know? What about making mistakes? Now, interestingly enough, I'm wondering whether there's something else going on here. Because he's pulled away there a lot. And that's not typical of Carlo. Has Carlo put enough fuel in? And he's just changed his mapping. Is he's losing at a rate of knots there? That's not Carlo. I'm wondering whether he's had to change the mapping. And that's to call the performance out. And he realised he's not going to make it on fuel. Could be wrong. Completely wrong. But that just isn't Carlo. Carlo would fight. In fact, I've got a replay icon on my screen there, haven't I? That I shouldn't have on. Right, let me just get rid of that replay icon. That's really annoying me. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Sorry. I'm trying to get rid of the replay. There you go. That's gone. That's when TV goes wrong. Is when streaming goes wrong. Yeah. I'm intrigued now to see if Carlo's on fuel saving. That was just far too easy. What do you lot think? Did he just make a mistake there? Because he didn't seem to make a genuine mistake. It's almost like he gifted the position. Well, I mean, if he turned to jelly, crikey, that's a hell of a turn to jelly. More like, yeah, he seemed to go through to custard. Yeah, he's catching up again now. It was this section where Carlo struggled. They come round here. He's got a good line through there, to be fair. Gets the power down. And then it was here. I think he broke too late and went too wide. Because he's got that corner spot on this time. Yeah, I don't think the ECU shows you much, does it, on fuel? No, it doesn't show you the fuel. He's got traction control, ABS 3, fuel map 1. No, he's on the normal mapping according to that. So we've now got another battle going on. Andreas is now challenging Kenneth again. What that does mean is that if Andreas passes Kenneth, in front of him is Stefan. Are we having a driver of the day today, guys? If we're having a driver of the day, have we got any options who we want? And it's easy to give it to Chris and John because they've walked it from qualifying. You know, at the end of the day, it's not my say who's driver of the day, unless I disagree with you all. Or I'm not that type of person. You should know that by now. We work out if we're going to do a driver of the day. We could say team of the day, but actually it's still a driver of the day, isn't it? I know who I think I'm going to pick. I want to see what you guys come up with. I'll probably go with what you guys say anyway. Kai. For his flying lesson. As you can see there, Andreas has made the pass. I was going to say, if Andreas... to me, I've got my eye on Andreas because Andreas got absolutely mullered in them incidents and he's just got his head down and carried on going. So, from my perspective, I do think my man of the day at the moment, my driver of the day is Andreas. It's still time to go yet. I fully understand that. But I think from Andreas' perspective, he's had a fantastic race so far. Now watch him make a mistake and end up at the back, and then we'll all look silly. But yeah, he's going to get Stefan here, isn't he? I think it's quite clear he's going to take Stefan at some point. I mean, fair dues to Stefan. Stefan's not the type to fight because Stefan would prefer to take the points than not take the points. But I think we'll see Stefan probably yield at some point. Probably the end of this straight, I'm not too sure. He's going for it, isn't he? Although Stefan's line again is phenomenal. Is that opening the gap up there for Kenneth coming back at the back? I'm not too sure. I'm not sure whether Kenneth's got the pace for this. We shall see. I think Stefan's going to get taken. Let's see if he does. I see there's a hold up going on now, isn't there? It's clear Stefan's holding them up because if Stefan wasn't holding them up, it wouldn't have allowed Kenneth to come back into it. So the problem here, Andreas has got, is if he makes a mistake, he's going to lose another position. He really needs to dispatch of Stefan quickly, sooner rather than later. Okay, so yeah, there's no. The only other battle is Sven Vibush, who's putting pressure on Jeremy. I think Jeremy's tyres might have gone off as well, and that's why he's struggling a little bit. But let's see where this takes us anyway. So looking at this board here, Andreas has only made 3 places, but if you remember, he got knocked down. So you know, Frank's done 6 places, but Frank was very, had a very good tactical idea. Let's take the 100-meter marker out. That'll give me a gain, and obviously that's what he did, and that caused a bit of bedlam. And I think that's what probably caused Kai's problem, was that missing board. I tell you what, Kenneth's getting close there. This could go anyway. Yeah, Ollie, you know, I say this week in, week out. I watch these guys race a lot now because of the streaming. And you know, Kenneth Lingham, when he first started, he wasn't as good as he is now. He's come on in leaps and bounds. But Stefan is getting better and better and better. And bearing in mind, he's driving the Lambo. I mean, some people do not like that car. I personally like it. I think it's a nightmare to drive. So kudos for not only him driving it, but the way he drives it as well. It's inch perfect. Every corner is inch perfect. Yep, exactly, with one arm. Right, there's been a change. Lars has managed to pass Craig as a result of contact. So, as there's been nothing going on, let's have a look what this contact's all about. So this is the second incident. Lars has been involved when there's been a pass. Now, I'm not saying Lars is guilty. I would never want anyone to think that's what I'm implying at all. So Lars is coming up behind Mr. Holmes here. Neil Bywater has plummeted down the table. Plummeted down the table. Lars has got that clear, to be fair. And that was Craig Holmes who was who made the tap there. So, again, no problem at all. Nothing further to investigate in that one. It was purely that the length of the bonnet of the Bentley was more than enough. So Neil Bywater. Oh. He's gone. Oh, no, he's not. So interestingly, while I was in replay mode, it showed drivers plummeting down the list, but they haven't. Okay. Can't explain that. Neil Bywater is still exactly where he is, which is behind Frank Tennant. So don't know what happened there. Can't explain that. And I've got that damn little replay back on the screen again. There you go. Don't know what's going on. I need to look into this. Andreas is still putting pressure. Oh, he's really looking for it, isn't he? Really looking for it. Good lines. Look at the three of them there. Wow. One break from the wrong person there, and the two at the back were doomed. But not one of them has made a mistake. This is fantastic racing. And don't forget, this is all three are racing in Group 3 as it stands. I know Andreas is a Group 2 racer, but all these drives are Group 3. And the quality of the racing's exceptional. Absolutely brilliant. Don, looks like my Friday's just got tougher. Well, don't forget, Don, what was Stefan's qualifying time? A 1:56.6. So I'm going to feel that he might qualify in pole. And you've seen how hard he is to pass on here. I'm not. Does he drive? Does he race the Lambo on Fridays? I'm not too sure. Interesting, anyway. Don doesn't want to think about it. It's a bit like when they let Russell in the Mercedes, innit? And he just went for it. Everyone thought initially, well, you know, he drives at the back in the Williams. He's not going to go anywhere. And next minute, he's absolutely flying on track, and you're thinking, hold on a minute. This doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think he's going to be a party pooper on Friday, I feel. Could be another podium for him. I've not seen Rich McKay yet on this track. This track you do really need practice on. You really do need practice. I was looking at some of my old lap times I was doing when I first started eSeniors on this track. Oh, Andreas has made a mistake. He's made a big mistake. There you go. Now, is that 2 minutes to go? Is that his tyres gone? And do we want to change the driver of the day? Does anybody feel? The driver of the day was looking pretty nailed on. I'm not so sure now. Anyone get any other suggestions for the drive of the day? That's exactly what I was thinking, Don. Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same. You know, Andreas had a fantastic run, and he was looking like he was going to do it. But you know what? Oh, Andreas has passed again here. He's managed to pass Kenneth again. And he's back on the hunt. I don't think he's going to pass him. Nikos giving it to Chris. So it's still Andreas for Tony. Right. You can say as many times as you want, Nikos. It doesn't give you any more votes. So we've got Stefan, Andreas, Steph. Yeah, I think it's going to be Steph this for consistency. Yeah, I think we'll go with that then. It's the group's decision. I'll give it to Stefan. Yeah. And Chris always has a faultless drive, we know that. But he was racing his teammate, so there was never going to be an incident, was there? I think, you know, when you're looking at the back of the grid, sorry, the middle of the table, and you've got the likes of Stefan and a few of the racers there, you know, there's a lot of encouragement to give them drive of the day. You give it on merit, and Stefan has held off really well. Yeah, that could have gone better for you, Mark. It was pretty surprising, to be fair. We were like pretty gobsmacked, and obviously you had to go into the pits. So yeah, I think it's fair to say we're pretty shocked. So we're going to award drive of the day to Stefan Buckley. Late change, as there was a very late change on Saturday. It was going to be Andreas, but Andreas just put a bit too much into it there, and consequently that's allowed Stefan to keep his position well. So drive of the day, voted for mainly by people in the chat, is Stefan Buckley. Well done, Stefan. Consistent driving, holding Andreas off and not making a mistake. I think that's fair comment, that. Brilliant drive, brilliant drive. There you can see Mr. Bourne finishes second place. Wasn't even a competition really, was it? John Saunders in third place. First the PWSs. And Lars has made a mistake. And Carlo coming over in the first of the Lamborghinis. Lars, who did make a mistake, has come over. And Stefan, I think, pulled over then. So that implies to me... Oh no, there's Stefan. Sorry, it was Carlo. There you go. They're all parking up. So Frank Tennant's coming over. Still got a way around yet. He was a couple of seconds behind. Frank's had a good clean race. Lost a couple of places early on, but seemed to pull it back again. Don't like the way people stop on the start finish straight like that. And there's Neil Bywater. And then Mr. Buckley. Still being hassled by Andreas and Kenneth. They're still at it. They're still at it. Full race. Oh, are we going to see a last minute move here? No, we're not. He's getting frustrated, Andreas, though, isn't he? Is this going to be a move? I thought this was going to be a move he might regret. But fair dues to Stefan and Andreas. They both realised. Give each other room. And he's still going for it. Oh, no. Stefan ran out of fuel. Stefan has run out of fuel. No way. He'll be pushing that car. No, Stefan. No, Stefan. Oh, dear. He's run out of fuel. He still deserves drive of the day, but oh, dear, dear, dear. What a shame. So, well, so heartfelt for him there. I always overfill. You can never put it in, but you can always take it out. Wow. Well, thanks very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. It's certainly A couple of incident packs in there. You know, first lap incident on the last corner, and then a great dive by Kai, deciding I wish I could fly and all that. And we need to redo that scene with a bit of music, don't we? But thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves, and I think we'll be back for... I'm not doing the GT4 tomorrow. Juan's doing GT4. I'm not racing tomorrow, and I'll be back for the Porsche Cup on Thursday. So take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Good evening.